Hi, my name's Aries, and I talk about books. Sometimes. Okay, let's talk about a book. And Then She Was Gone. Or Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. Okay, fine. What the fuck was that book? Please, I just need someone to explain to me. What the fuck was that? Gotta regroup my thoughts. Then She Was Gone is following Laurel after her daughter Ellie went missing. This is 10 years in the future after the daughter went missing. Ellie was like 15 whenever she went missing. Laurel and Paul, the dad, had got divorced because Laurel did not feel that anyone was grieving her golden child the way that she thought she should, which drove a wedge between Jake, her son, Hannah, her other daughter, and her husband. Okay? Laurel meets Floyd at the coffee shop or some shit, right? After they find the remains of Ellie. So it's been 10 years. They found her remains in her bag, and they're like, no, she's definitely dead. Because until then, they were calling her a runaway. So they get their closure that they need, and she meets Floyd. Okay, Laurel and Floyd start hooking up, whatever. Floyd has 2 daughters, one named Sarah, SJ, and one named Poppy. Okay, so when Laurel meets Floyd's daughter, Poppy, specifically, she's like, oh my god, she looks just like my Ellie. Then she takes her on a shopping trip and dresses her up like her Ellie. What the fuck is that? Who does that? Okay, so she's like seeing all these weird red flags and she doesn't understand, and Poppy's mom disappeared and whatever. Then we find out that Poppy's mom is named Noelle, and she's a crazy ass bitch that used to tutor Ellie. Well, Ellie fired her right before she went missing because Noelle was obsessed with Ellie. And then it comes to light. So we follow this couple, and then she's like, as Laurel's like putting the pieces together and being like, what the fuck? And in the middle of this, Hannah, the other daughter, is dating Theo, the dead daughter's ex-boyfriend from 10 years ago, and the mom is like slut-shaming her in her head and like, I don't understand what he sees in Hannah whenever he already had Ellie. 1, they're adults now, and 2, what the fuck kind of narrative is that as a mother, you're like, that daughter's not even as good as the one you were already dating? Anyway, she starts to put the pieces back together, and it comes to Christmas time, and everybody's getting together for Christmas, including Floyd and Poppy. Well, then it comes to light, Floyd, through a video, tells Laurel that Poppy is actually the child of Ellie, the disappeared daughter, and some random guy. It's not even his fucking kid. So he tells her that he didn't know how to tell her or the police because then he'd be framed for raping a minor, and it's just such a huge thing. And we get the Noelle's perspective, and Noelle kidnapped Ellie just to impregnate her so that she could get a baby for Floyd because she was obsessed with Floyd. And I mean, we all came full circle, but what the fuck? Not to mention the fact that this was like it was mostly Laurel's point of view, but sometimes we had Ellie's, and then we had Noelle's towards the end, and at the very end we had Floyd's as well. So it ends up being that Floyd's girlfriend is actually his not biological daughter's grandma, and he was stalking her, and it was a ride. So I knew, like, from the very beginning that Noelle had kidnapped Ellie. Like, I knew that was what was coming, but the twist came from the fact that Floyd just abandoned his daughter that he'd raised for 9 years. Oh, and it'd been 10 years, the daughter was 9, so she got her, fucking impregnated her. Oh, and the way that Ellie died, she wasn't murdered. She just didn't get proper postpartum care after she had a baby by force. I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to explain how I'm feeling. I don't know. I'm feeling some kind of way. I only gave it 2 stars, I think. It was an Audible. I fucking hate Audibles. That's something I'm learning about myself. The performance wasn't bad. I didn't mind the narration, but man, it was a ride. I kind of recommend it. Like a little bit. I just spoiled the shit out of it, but it's a slow burn mystery that didn't have the twist that I was looking for. Anyways, thank you for sitting through my rant, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and feel free to like and subscribe. And I post new ones mostly every Wednesday and Saturday, but I kind of suck, so pretty sporadically. But thanks for coming to my TED Talk.